to another episode of Apocalypse Never.
We're only here at this moment, this very dangerous moment, because of Donald Trump's impulses.
We're at the early stages of a hot war. It is a monumental moment.
This is absolutely insane, and it's going to draw us into that region in a way that we absolutely cannot afford.
War with Iran is madness, and it is strategically and morally a disaster.
That would have widened and exploded the Middle East into a war like we've never seen.
That strike has predictably with an exclamation point, kicked a hornet's nest in the Middle East.
Predictably. What a convulsion of chuckle buckets. They were so ready for Armageddon, because then that would all be on Trump. I haven't seen that much wishful thinking since Michael Moore tried on leather pants. But as usual, the end took a rain check. Bummer. Don Lemon had just installed a foot bath in his fallout shelter. And Chris Cuomo just stored all his remaining Botox in his face. But did that stop the stupid? Hell no. In an effort to maintain the anti-Trump narrative, one dolt compared Soleimani to Lady Di.
When Princess Diana died, for example, there was a huge emotional outpouring. These kinds of Elvis Presley in our culture. It turns out that this general we killed was a beloved hero of the Iranian people, to the point where look at the people we got pictures of now. These enormous crowds coming out. There's no American emotion in this case, but there's a hell of a lot of emotion on the other side.
Oh, my God. Lady Di? Elvis? I think Chris has been smelling too many of Eric Swalwell's farts. The point is, though, you better not kill a bad guy, because then he'll become a martyr. I guess from now on, we only send angry letters to their local paper. Or maybe a strongly worded poem recited by Deepak Chopra at the UN. So here's a theory that's going to blow your mind. Why is it when Trump uses any force, the critics go nuts? Because, as even the New York Times admits, Trump has used military force less than any president since Jimmy Carter. Which is why the media hysterically amplifies it, because it's so rare. So when it happens, they have to milk it for all it's worth. Now you see it? I get it. I do the same thing when once a year my wife gets a little drunk. I make a huge deal out of it, because I may never get the chance again. But the media will take any chance to call Trump a fascist. Example, Iran shoots down a Ukrainian passenger plane, and who do the media and Dems blame? Trump. I mean, Iran's not even blaming him. But she is.
If what is being projected is true, this is yet another example of collateral damage from the actions that have been taken in a provocative way by the President of the United States.
Imagine idiots like this after Pearl Harbor. You know, maybe if you didn't have all those shiny boats out there, which are used for war, this wouldn't have happened. It's fun watching Trump force Democrats to defend stuff no actual human would defend. Here's The View applauding white racists. I love that. I can just say The View and everybody's heart sinks. But here they are applauding white bigots because now they both hate Trump.
What's some good news? This is a tiny thing that I noticed. You remember Richard Spencer? He's basically the organizer of Unite the Right, lunatic, the white nationalist group that was marching in Charlottesville. It was all in for Trump. Not anymore. Here's his quote. He tweeted last night, "I deeply regret voting for and promoting Donald Trump in 2016.
Oh, my gosh.
Wow. I mean, that's good. That's interesting.
They're applauding white supremacists. I think the tiny thing Joy noticed was her brain. I can't wait to see The View's hour-long tribute to the Boston bomber after he calls Trump a weenie. But that's a lib choosing politics over morality. From Weinstein to Epstein to Clinton, every pig gets a pass. And now, so do murderous generals. So Iran launched missiles into space, somewhere between an American base and a Kmart in Cleveland. And then they declared it over. Then they called it proportionate to the killing of their top general. Imagine that. It's like they deliberately whiffed on 3 pitches, then trotted around the bases like they hit a home run. I mean, if you're Soleimani's ghost, you got to be pissed. That's the send-off? It's a weird message from Iran that maybe we got rid of a guy who was a pain in their neck, too. For Iran, it's like finding out your car got stolen, and it was a beat-up 72 Corolla. You know, you were trying to get rid of it for years, so you parked it in a bad neighborhood with the keys in the ignition. That was Soleimani. So sorry, media. It's a thinker. Sorry, media, it wasn't Operation Desert Shield. It was more like Operation Desert Rash. The press conference lasted longer. So I wonder, should the American people be extremely grateful and happy no Americans were harmed?
The American people should be extremely grateful and happy. No Americans were harmed in last night's attack by the Iranian regime.
For now, and that is a good outcome. Of course, his critics are pissed he didn't give them a heads up. But maybe he didn't have time to call up Nancy, who was not operating with a full deck.
We didn't have time to call up Nancy, who was not operating with a full deck.
And you could tell, and would you tell Schiff? After all, he is a big leaker.
Schiff is a big leaker. You know, he leaks to crazy CNN. See with the little red light on? Shifty Schiff. Say, gee, Adam, how you doing? Listen, we have the world's #1 terrorist. We got him lined up, Adam. You little pencil neck. He buys the smallest shirt collar you can get, and it's loose.
Look, no one wants war, but what we saw wasn't war. And unlike the media and Democrats, we aren't stuck in a prison of two ideas, where it's either do nothing or it's World War III. No, in between those prisons is the turf that Trump navigates so well. Between nothing and everything, Trump chose a decisive action that solved a horrible problem. Not bad, but then again, he always said he could be more presidential.
I always say I can be more presidential than any candidate that ever ran, than any president, other than maybe Abraham Lincoln when he's wearing his hat.
Let's welcome tonight's guest. He's as American as a President's Day mattress sale. Fox and Friends weekend co-host Pete Hegseth. He's on the FBI's least wanted list. Comedian Joe Mackey. Her laugh is contagious, but so is her cough. Host of Sincerely Cat on Fox Nation, Cat Tim. And the stork that delivered him got a hernia. My massive sidekick and host of Enough Said on Fox Nation, Tyrus. Pete, what do you think of this week?
Holy cow.
Yeah. What, you think this is done? Is it over? What do you see happening?
Well, of course it's not done.
Yeah.
Because Iran's not done.
Yeah.
I mean, their entire regime is premised on exporting terrorism. They are not done. They can't live without it. I was actually in favor, honestly, in favor of much stronger strikes against the Iranian regime. Listen, they're still racing for a nuclear bomb. They're going to, and you can't live in a world where they have it, right? So I felt like now's a good time to take that next step.
Really?
Why not? That was my belief. Now, the president went the other way, and good for him. And you know why I trust and support him? It's the same reason why you trust and supported Ronald Reagan back in the day, because you know where his core is. You know what he believes. You know he has the defense of the American people in mind, whereas you could never believe that with Jimmy Carter or Barack Obama. You knew they would appease away who we are. In this case, you know Trump at the end of the day is going to have our country's back. In this case, he doesn't think this is the right time to do it. And Iran knows.
Yeah.
You take one more drop of American blood, and you're done.
Exactly.
It's just amazing how much... Who knew? I mean, I guess we already knew, but who knew the Democrats hated America this much? If you were to build a list of the people to kill, it would be like the leader of Hezbollah, Kim Jong-un, and Qasem Soleimani.
Yeah.
And yet, this isn't good enough for them.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
You know,
Sad.
Joe, I love watching Trump force Democrats to defend weird stuff, like The View, applauding like Richard Spencer, a white supremacist.
I would like to thank the ladies of The View, because every time I do this show, I'm terrified that I'm going to say something stupid about politics, but they're perfectly calm, and they say something stupid every day.
I love the part when they go, "That's really good," and then he stopped and they go, "Interesting." They were all on board. Maybe he'll be a regular guest on The View. He'll be in the hot seat. Wouldn't that be great? No. All right, we'll move on then. Kat, what are your thoughts of this week? What's your analysis? Your cat analysis?
I always have one.
Yes.
Okay, well, last week I was the one person on the couch who said I did have some concerns about this whole thing.
Yes.
But it seems like everything is just fine. And I'm happy about that.
Yes.
Right? But the interesting thing is there's a lot of people on the left who I don't think they can say that. They're disappointed that it didn't go well. But on the one hand, I get it, right? When someone hurts you, they've been hurt by Trump. When someone hurts you, you don't want them to accomplish things and be happy. Like, whenever I hear that my ex-boyfriend has a comedy show,
yes,
I want him to do terribly, okay?
Yes.
But if I knew that him doing terribly meant there would be, like, this huge war and all these innocent people being blown up, like, I would think about it. But ultimately, I would decide, like, no, I want everyone to live.
Yeah.
I want him to do well. But they were like almost disappointed. They wanted the to just be like, aha, see, I told you.
Yeah.
But they don't realize they wouldn't even be able to have that moment of gloating because they'd be being blown up.
Yes, that's true. Tyrus, close it out.
I would just like to say, in defense of The View, I don't think she cleared that cliche with Whoopi Goldberg before she dropped it. Because if you watch the body language, yes. Whoopi was like, "Do we hate him that much?"
Yes.
Because if President Trump lost support of white supremacists, that actually, in a weird way, pleases me.
Yes.
That means he's done something non-racist to the point where the racists were like, "The hell with this guy."
Yes.
How is that?
Yeah.
A good point.
They sided with the racists.
Yeah, like, if somebody on there would have said, and it would have had to been Miss McCain to say, "Isn't that a good thing?"
Yeah.
We'll be right back after commercial, and she wouldn't be there anymore.
Yes.
We got the racist on our side.
Yeah, but that's the point. It literally, America, the world is so afraid of our crazy president that he will kill your general, and to get back, you will blow up the parking lot, but not the one that's marked off.
Yeah.
Just the shopping carts that nobody was going to bring back in anyway.
Yeah.
That's what Iran did.